just wanted to come back to the competition. So don't you guys fear a little bit about your ideas being stolen? You know, you create a gorgeous dress, and somebody just comes and snaps it and makes another one. You know, or even the fear of somebody rocking the market of clothes making or of cosmetology or whatever. Do you have those fears?
When I just started, when I would see someone copy my style, to be honest, I would get furious. Like, first of all, you don't even know how long I took to make this dress.
Yeah.
Like, why not come to me? Why would you? You know, it used to really get to me. But eventually, you get to learn that, you know, some of the ideas that I come up with are not even 100% mine. I saw an outfit and I liked how it looks. I just tweaked it a little, so it's not even 100% mine. So you know, you get to appreciate that it's an industry where you have to share ideas. You won't be able to own everything that you do, as long as you put it out there, as long as you post those pictures. So it's out and everyone has the right to just copy it whichever way they want to do it. So for now, I'm no longer. Now when I see someone copy my style, I get a sense of pride. I'm like, that's my
I did it
style.
well.
Yeah. Sorry, that's my style.
Yeah.
So, you know, now I'm okay with it. Now I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Great. But how do you deal with it? Because
The competition.
yeah. So if they're still you know, replicating your own model, how do you then secure your market
So
and stuff?
that's where you invest in what you are doing. So never forget that. You try to make yours better. You try to think about how best you can innovate your styles, how best you can stand out. You try to get better materials. You try to get better machines for your finishing. You know, you just try to make yours better. But I don't think we should invest a lot of energy into trying to fight the competition, but instead try to make yours stand out. And then as long as you have a very solid brand, people seek you out. Yeah. So just invest in your brand and the outputs, and they will seek you out. Yeah.
Great. Thank you for that. Yes, Joe.
I agree. I agree. As far as me, she's saying that she posts things on social media. I too, I do. I try to post at least once a week, or you know. But majority of my business, I would say 70% of my business is word of mouth.
Okay.
It's all by referrals. So even if I had, I don't think I have competition, because I know what I do. Not too many people can. And even I've had clients come to me and said, "Oh, I saw this hairstyle and they said that such and such did it, or a stylist said that they did it, and when they did it, it didn't look anything like that, and then they told me you did it." So I've had people try to claim my work. I've had people try to take my ideas, but I don't think for me competition is really healthy. I mean, what I do is what I do, and nobody can change that. Yeah, I'm very gifted in what I do.
True.
That requires a great degree of confidence.
Confidence, exactly.
To just
not
think that
It's not cockiness.
it's not.
Yeah.
I do
No,
think
no.
it's like confidence in what you're doing, because even if you train people, you try to transfer to them, you know, the level of knowledge you have, but you know there is something that they will never put in the business, and that you will rather stop operating than not putting into what you're doing. So it has to do with you knowing exactly what you're giving in, for you to know that their competition is always healthy. They will bring their brick to the edifice and you bring yours. Very, very interesting point. So again, Joe, cosmetology, you know, it's not a very popular you know, popular branch of the fashion industry in Sierra Leone. So how does it feel pioneering it? And also, you know, what are the ingredients that made you stand out and just like, I know you were not, you're confident and you know that you have it, but still, what kept you, you know, in the industry from that period to now?
Like I said, investing in yourself, investing in equipment, location, reinvention. Because there was a time that the salon had, you know, gone down, Wasn't traveling as much as I used to. Wasn't bringing in new ideas. So we had went down, changing of staff, but yeah, just constant reinvention. You have to, and then taking the time to pick your team. I will change until I get it right. I will keep changing until I get it right, because if you don't have that ownership mentality when you're coming to work for someone, if you're going there to just gain knowledge, fine. But when you say you're going to wholeheartedly work with somebody to build something, it makes a complete difference in a business.
True.
That's so true. And both of you have mentioned, posting on social media, and also I just wanted us to tackle the importance of branding and marketing in the industry. For example, I receive messages from you, Joe, and I'm like how does she associate the colors and the textures? And like last time I asked her, are you the one with the mask up and the hair band and all, and the swagger that she's and she that's when she explained to me that I am the fourth brand of my business, So what's the role of that branding, like both branding and marketing, in making your business stand out in the
it gives you visibility. Like Kumba was saying, I was the biggest tomboy. I think I started wearing makeup maybe in my 20s. I didn't really wear dresses and things like that. But you can't be in this industry and you're the first thing they see, whether it be a photo or they walking into the salon or whatever the case may be. So your nails have to be done. It's like, constantly, Joe, who did your nails? I'm like, did it at the shop. Your lashes at the shop.
Exactly.
Your hair is cute. Come on.
Exactly.
So it's it gives you that visibility, and people, even if they don't know who I am, they know the name, they know the brand. They're like, that's Miss Joe. Oh, that's Afro-American, or So that visibility is very key. I think the social media just expands everything, so it makes you kind of global. Because like I said, I've had people reach out from all parts of the world, Cuba, Canada, U.S., China, asking for products, or they're coming into town. We're like, okay, I'm coming into town. They recommended your salon, or I saw your reviews. Your reviews look good. Do you do this style? Do you do that? So it opens up communication as well.
But how to go about it?
How to go about it?
How to go about it. But like you see people posting every single day, but it looks more like bombarding you than giving you something that will attract you. So how should we go about branding?
For me, like when I give tips for Miss Joe, it's basically about hair care or skin care, or just life. Sometimes you just need that little, you're beautiful today. Some people they'll send a message like, I so needed this, or that little tip. I didn't know you could you need to trim your hair. I thought you just let it grow and let it fall out. So it gives people the knowledge, and then as far as the school, just letting them know what we offer, when we offer it, and things like that. And the products, same thing, just letting people know the price of what we offer, what it does for the skin or what it does for the hair. So it's the education and the knowledge that's it's really important, and getting your in each brand either complements itself or a brand stands out by itself, and giving people that in that feedback, or when people give you feedback, that you're doing it right. Because at first, like you said, I'm like, I keep sending these messages to these people, they're gonna start blocking me. So I really, but when I get the feedback, they're like, I didn't know that you made this, I didn't know that you did this. So I'm like, okay, I'm doing it right.
So it's the right dosage of what you
I think every day is too much. At least once or twice once or twice a month, just to let people know I'm here, and this is what I do. I think that's really important.
And your passion for education doesn't also stop only at your students, but even the clients. You try to educate them on on how to tips that you're sharing on how
definitely.
to.
When someone comes in, when I do my when we're talking about what they've done with their hair or what product was used and things like that. And they look at me like, I don't know, I just sit there. I'm like, you can't do that. It's like, now you're asking me to do something and I don't know what they have done. Because sometimes you put a chemical on top of a chemical, it turns into something else. And then they'll be like, oh, Joe did that. So, I always am like, okay, even if you're not going to stay with me, this is what I'm doing to your hair. This is what I recommend for your hair. If you use these certain products, make sure you take it everywhere if you're not sure about their products. Because I know we get our products from the States. I don't know where the next man is getting their products. And if your hair is used to certain treatment and then they go use something else and then you come back to me and we have to start all over again. Because one of the things when I'm doing my consultations is what is your ultimate goal? Is it volume? Is it health? What is your goal for your hair? What is your goal for your skin? And if as long as that line of communication is open, because okay, if I travel, you go to the next person, you have to explain where we stopped. So education is really important.
That's great.
For me, with branding and marketing, I think it's something that we have to be intentional about. If you want to have a successful social media campaign, you have to be. There's so many things that you have to think about when you post, how often, even the time of the day, how often you post, the content. Some people have it really structured in the morning. You post about tips in the afternoon. You post a client in the evening. You post maybe a feel-good story. But you have to be intentional about it if you want to be successful on social media. But it's very important now that when you're doing a business, you have some presence online. I will never advise that you say, oh, I can't be bothered with social media. Some people, because it's really too much, it's very engaging. You have people reaching out all the time and you have your work to do. You have to keep up with the chats online. It's a lot. But then you have to make the conscious effort to also keep that interest online on your platforms. You have to. So I'm not really good at posting, but I try to do it. Sometimes I even have reminders that, okay, post this time, because I will forget. I will forget. So I try to post regularly. I try to keep my posts engaging. You have to be careful as well not to post something that has a lot of text, because people don't really invest the time to read everything. So make sure you be careful with the words that you use so they tell your message quickly. You can see a very short sentence and you know exactly what the person wants to say. So but branding is really the efforts that we make to give people the impression of our business that we want them to have. So we have to invest in that. That is what we post online, is the image that the clients are going to have of our business. So I want to really encourage, in this day and age, there are so many platforms. I can't keep up with all of them. I think I'm on Instagram and on Facebook. That's it. But there is Twitter, there is Snapchat, there is well, the youngins, I'm sure will know them, because I don't know all of them. But there are a lot. So, but pick the ones that you want to be active on, and then you create your content based on the platform, because each platform has a particular type of content that is more suitable for it. So study the platform and know how you curate your content.
That's great. So you mentioned how you would like to be viewed by the outer world, and that also is a reflection of how you advertise. Is it the reason why you are your own model? You always because I was like she knows she can have other people to wear her clothing, and but why Kumba?
I embody my brand. Like wherever you see me, you have to see a reflection of my brand on me. So that's why I'm very intentional. When I step out, I have to represent my brand. So so when you go to my Facebook, my social media pages for the business, you will see I am on most of the pictures. Because I also have this thing, I believe that when people see something on me, then they will appreciate how it will look, and then they will reach out. So I put myself my brand is called Kumba. That's me. So it has to be me. So I would have, loads of pictures from other clients, and I will keep them. I'll post them once in a while, but most of the posts I do, it is me. You have to see it on me. Because I am my brand.
It all started with that.
Exactly. So for me, it's very intentional. It's very when I go to the office every day, I wear my outfit. When I go to parties, I wear my outfits. I'm here, I'm wearing I did this last night. I'm wearing so every time I'm wearing my stuff. Because it has to be, whenever you see me, it's also part of selling my work, because I put a lot of effort into my fashion business. So even without me speaking, I want me just showing up for it to speak for itself, So
you ladies are very wise in your way of approaching branding, especially with the self, because usually you ask people the question about what's your personal brand, and they're what are you talking about? But it's so obvious for the two of you, and you are absolutely right. Because when somebody sees you always in jeans, they would like, why is she advertising our local produce when she's always in jeans, or when she relaxes her hair. You relax your hair and you want people to go natural, so it makes so much sense. So you also mentioned the the scarcity of the produce that we can have locally. So yes, there is a scarcity of manufacturing and production processes, and businesses that produce either let's say shampoos or whatever products for the hair salons, or African material. Sometimes we pride ourselves in wearing our own clothing, not knowing that it comes from Europe sometimes. So what is the challenge that people are having, entrepreneurs, and that hinders them from going to that route, to the production of goods that people would need, like the products for the saloons? Or
I think it's exposure. I don't think the government invest in that, because I remember when I first started coming to Sierra Leone, there was Natco factory and Pepsi factory. There was factories here, but after the war, I don't know if the investments or the taxes or these companies didn't come back, and there's so many different brands in Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya. There's so many different things. Like they make so many different things. Like even I think Expression is made in Nigeria, and there's also one in China. And then so I don't know if it's the government to blame. I don't know. Because it's a big investment when you bring in someone in. You're bringing in your equipment. You're bringing in your capital. And you're investing in human resources. So if anything, it should be something that should be like top priority, I'm thinking. And there's so much space. There's so many people, and employment is very much needed. So I don't know why it's not a topic of discussion.
What do you think?
There's also the issue of the skill, how to do it. Especially for me, for making fabrics. Do we know how to do these patterns properly and neatly here? We know how to do tie-dye. That's really good. But do we know how to extend? Do we know how to do the amount of work that you require to do lace? That's a lot of handwork, the pattern. Do we know how to do it? So in addition to the buying, the investment, the startup investment, because it's not cheap. You need to. There's electricity to think about. There's the building to think about. Renting a space in Sierra Leone, in Freetown, it is so expensive. So there are the equipment to think about, to buy them, to bring them in. So it's a lot. It's a lot of investment to think about. And then when you have all of that now, who can do it? Who knows how to do it? Because it would be easier for me to do it, to control the supply chain, to make the material, but I don't know how to do it. very few people like Joe who know how to do the products for hair and other things. So there's the skill, there's the investment. So those two, if you can cross those two barriers, then we have a shot. Yeah. So that's where also partnership comes in, because one person can bring in the skill, the other person can bring in the investment, and we see how best. Sometimes a country like Nigeria, they do a lot of partnerships from different countries. So if you know how to do this, you come in, I know how to do this on the ground, so I'm here, and then they come and they work together. So there's also those avenues to explore as well.
Great analysis of the situation, and I do think that's where people, new or aspiring entrepreneurs that want to come to the industry should also think to along those avenues, not only what already is established. So I do think that Africa can position itself as the next hub for the creative economy. So by setting a new pace, but also by doing things differently. So how inspiring is that vision to you, and how can we go about it? What do we need to do for Africa to become that creative hub?
Well, the creative economy is so wide. We're talking about photography, painting, film, radio, TV, fashion, hair. It's so wide. But the other issue is there's a stereotype in Africa that if you are working in that creative space, we want our children to go down the traditional route: lawyer, doctor, engineer. So if you come and you say, my passion is photography, your parents will be upset with you, because this is not what they paid for you to go to school for. So and it starts first. It starts in the home. So you don't get the support from the home, and then when you branch out, you see that the sector is not supported financially. So it's very difficult for these creatives to thrive, because the sector is not supported. There are not many opportunities encouraging them to take their craft to the next level. So you see most people get stuck doing mediocre work, or just barely hanging on to survive. And creatives are people that should be supported, because they bring life to the society. My hair, so the product I use for my hair, Joe does it. I only use her products on my hair.
I thought I introduced you to Insha.
Oh no! I knew her before.
I did nothing.
I knew. So I only use her products. So you see, these people bring life to everywhere. Music. Which program would you have without good music? But then we don't support the industry. We don't support them at home. We don't support them out. But then we would want their product. So how will that work? So as long as it is possible for Africa to be the creative hub, it is possible. But for that to happen, there's a lot of mindsets that needs to be changed, starting from the homes, and then translating that now to our policymakers, the decision makers, because they need to support the creatives for us to be a hub, for Africa to be a hub.
So it's a vision that needs to be shared by many stakeholders,
right across.
Yeah, right across.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. What do you think?
I agree, but I disagree, because for me, Africa's always been the hub of creativity. It's like anything that starts here goes global. Afro beats, braids, shea butter. I mean, you can just name 1,001 things of fashion, because even though Ankara comes from Vienna, majority it comes from. But look at the spin that we've done on it, the way that we sew it, the way that we carry it, the braiding of it, the bamako, and all these things. And those things have gone global. Like I remember I saw one wedding. It was a white person getting married, but they all were in Gele. I found that very interesting.
Yeah.
So we create trends that go global, and then they embrace it and try to take credit for it. But we've always been the trendsetters.
And when they, what I also have seen is when they embrace it, we love it the most, and we
Yeah.
go through. So we don't love what we have
until they
unless,
embrace
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like now you hear people saying, "Oh, Beyonce is wearing Ankara," and then everybody wants to have. And I'm like, but it came from where you are, you know, and you could have wore it more with more pride than when, you know, a celebrity puts
I
it
don't
on.
know if we need validation or something.
Now we don't, because I remember when I was in school, when I was in middle school, when I was in middle school and high school, I used to say I was Jamaican. Because it wasn't a good thing to be African. For some reason, you know, all of us were, no, I'm from the Caribbean. No, no, me African. Like my dad, I remember one time he came with the kaftan. He came pick me up at school and I ran away. He was like, "Why is your daddy wearing a dress?" So I was like, "I don't know him. So now it's a pride. It's like, where are you from? Sierra Leone.
I know.
You're African? Yep. You know, it's not even first generation American. I'm Sierra Leonean 100%. You know, so my name is Nassim. But when I was in school, they was like Nancy and this and that. I was like, just call me Joe.
Yeah.
So it's like even the traditional names, nobody would use them. They would always find a way to change their name. So now there's so much pride on the continent that is becoming global that everyone is embracing. So I mean that's a blessing, because even I see the way my kids are coming up, and they love it. They love the food, love the culture, love the music, love the dressing, everything. And it may be the validation of because they have accepted it, and now it's translating on the continent, or we just took more pride into it.
That's really important that you talked about validation, because so much around African culture and so much around African people's sense of their culture has to do with them waiting from Western people. Maybe it's because of colonization. It's because of our dark history that we had something to do with, but we also inherited. You know, and that's maybe seeing Black people hold themselves in a certain way would make a child say, "I don't want to be any African." If African people are always just like lingering on stuff that doesn't matter, always being caught into criminal acts or stuff. I don't want to identify with them. So having that generation of people who really try to change the narrative and showing a nicer, brighter face of African people also will make it be something that we identify with pride. So just wanted us to conclude with the question that has been triggering me, that has been, in my mind for so long. And the question is, like, the sweet Salone culture, is it what's influencing the swagger you see in Sierra Leone? Is it the Western influence? Because I see, many people who came from the Creole descendants and who have that so much of Western influence and stuff. Or is it the neighboring countries? Because Salone is so open to Nigerians, Ghanaians, and what. So what's the mixture that makes Salone people so swagger?
I think we are now embracing our heritage, and we're supporting local content now more than ever. So I think, because now it's a trend that's happening everywhere. Like, everyone is just looking inwards now. So let's see what we can do for ourselves. Let's see how best we can support ourselves. And that has also translated to Sierra Leone. So we are also doing that. We're looking. Before, I used to buy products from abroad for my hair. Now I know Joe does it really well. So why not go to Joe? And it's really good. It's working. So why not go to Joe? And also our clothes, we have tailors here that do good work. So why not go to our tailors here? Even our different sectors. We are trying to support each other now. So, and that's all part of the sweet Salone culture. And I think it's working, because that is what is giving the youth the energy, the zeal, the confidence to start. Because at first, you see only older people doing business. But now there's so much encouragement going around that you see some. I know someone whose daughter, I think a teenager, has already started her business. So you see, so there's so much confidence now, and it's all because we are embracing ours. So I think that Sweet Salone culture, yes, it has just, it's influencing everything now, and everyone is just, we're trying to see how best we can support each other. We're now closer together. We have groups of friends that support each other, and we try to spread the word of the work that our friends are doing. And we have in our circles, we'll have a couple of influential people who, when they talk about the work that their friends are doing, because we respect the work that that person is doing, we go out to support that friend, yes, and see, and then we go and we like, and we also help and spread the word. As Joe was saying, most of her referrals are through word of mouth, because her team or her tribe supported her, and they transferred the word out, and then the word just kept going. So there's a lot of support culture that is associated with the Sweet Salone culture, which it's really, really good to see. Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
just like Kumba was saying, it's the pride of self.
Yeah.
We have a lot to offer.
Yeah.
We have so much to offer. We have very talented and gifted people. Not everyone can be a creative, but when you take pride in your work and what you build and whatever influence you put into your community, it really makes a difference. So even with the influences from all over, Sierra Leone is a melting pot. We absorb so many different cultures, and I think that's what makes us stand out. It makes us stand out from just the naysayers that we wouldn't amount to anything, and we're proving everyone wrong as far as the different industries. The different industries are booming. I mean, with the support of the tribe, as you're saying. I mean, there's so many things that can be accomplished. Look at the tourism industry. Look at the cosmetology industry. Tailor everything. There's so many different things. We have country clothes and plants and
tie-dye.
The gara. The tie-dye. From my knowledge, it started in Sierra Leone, and look how global it is. So there's so many things that we, I think, take for granted that other people embrace, but now the tides are changing.
Yeah, now we claim it. Yeah, that's a big return to do, because I don't think it's ever late, to come back to your roots and to embrace it. And as you said, because we have so many creative youth, then they're gonna dive into the same trend that now is existing and make something that will make Africa, or Sierra Leone and Africa, that hub of the creative economy, very hopefully. Yeah, thank you so much for this great discussion. We really enjoyed it. So time for the question and answer session. Back to you, Esther.
The first question is, how have you been able to modernize your local content to have international attraction? And also the second question is, I would love to know, because you talked about you normally give people or your customers what they asked for. So I would love to know the percentage of people that have been asking for this our traditional attire, like the gara or the runko or whatsoever, and how have you been able to modernize it more for people to come in and ask for it?
I've listened keenly. I want to say thank you to the team for organizing such an event. I think for 2021, this is the kind of opportunity we want in order to grow. So with the advent of COVID, we realized that we as business people, we should not be limited or confined in, like, for instance, for just within Sierra Leone. You've highlighted the challenges of Sierra Leone when it comes to competition and the keen market that we have. So in order for us to grow, I'm just thinking that how are you planning to go digital? Because COVID actually showed us the pathway that we don't have to just stay where we are. I listened keenly to Kumba when she was saying, I find it difficult sometimes to go social media, to to also do my postings. So I was like, why can't you like invest in another person to be doing this for you? Because in as much as the market is king, we have to go extra mile in order to get things done. So how are we planning to go digital so that, as my brother said, people in another world will know about what you're doing, will add value to them, and as well bring income not only to yourself but to the economy as well. Thank you. And the other thing also, young people listening to you now, especially me, like I'm thinking to go into fashion, and I was like, with this kind of competitive market that we have and the kind of market Sierra Leone is having, like what actually can motivate me to go into it?
Miss Joe, as a cosmetology, what excites you when doing a hairstyle? Is it the money, or you have that special something aiding whenever you do hairstyle?
This question goes to Mrs. Josephine. Right, as a cosmetologist, have you ever manufactured a product that you use in your shop or brand with your own name? Then our two question, as entrepreneur, who was your mentor at that time? Because I believe you have been in the game more than 20 or 25 years. At that time, cosmetology was not exposed at that time. So who was your mentor that led you to this great success? Then as for Miss Kumba, do you employ men or women on your or fashionists that advertise your fabric, maybe use your material with a shot and post in the social media? Then two, what is the name of your page that someone can reach you?
What's the way forward to have an inclusive fashion show? I remember 2017, I was part of the Salone fashion modeling at Lagunda. Since then, there has never been like collective fashion show since then. And I see different people organizing different fashion shows, but like something collective, like you have, like for Ghana, you have the Ghana fashion show, you have the Nigerian fashion show and all. So, but like since 2017, it has never happened. So, and I'm also planning to have the first Sierra Leone Modest Fashion Show in Sierra Leone this year. Inshallah, I'm planning to have it because it has already been happening in Saudi Arabia, in Dubai, and then in England. So this is something that is collective. It's about different religion, different style, and lifestyle together. It's a collective thing. So this is my contribution. Thank you all.
The question that I have for the guest is like, what's the value of dress code, and how can it be moral and decent? The question I want to ask is in regards to dress code. We all know dressing has a lot to do with the appearance. So I want to know what's the value of it and how can it be moral and decent as well.
What are the plans you guys have put in place to ensure the fashion industry into a new level?
My question is, what do you consider the most important fact of the fashion industry? What do you think are the current and future trends in the fashion? What advice would you give someone who wants to be a model?
I think the first question the person was asking, how do I market my goods for international interest? Well, for now, all I do is put is post on social media. So that's the best way that I interact with people out of the country. And you try to increase your following on social media, not just within Sierra Leone, but out of the country as well. So you gain international interest as well. So for now, that is how I do it. I don't have a website, so I invest in my Instagram and Facebook. That's how I use to communicate. That's how I use to spread the word about my brand. And there was another question about so if it's challenging to keep up with all these social media posts, why not hire someone to do it? That's a very good point, and that's actually something that I'm looking to start. I've already spoken to someone about it because I work full-time as an engineer, so you can guess it's very difficult to keep up with this other part of my life as well. So I have already, thankfully, there are some there are new, I think there is Colat Media, then there are different businesses now who handle that. So you give them your social media platform and you give them the contents that you want to post, and they post, they engage with people who visit your site. They ensure that your information on your page is up to date. They basically handle all the interaction for you, so they take that workload off your shoulder. So yeah, so that's something that I'm looking to do, and that's something I would encourage anyone here who can't handle social media that much to also invest in. And there was a final question about if I hire someone to model for me or to advertise. Sorry, or to advertise for me. I have never hired someone, so I use my tribe. I use my people. So whenever I do, like for example, right now I'm doing a collection. When I'm done, I'm going to just talk to my friends. All I do is I take them to the studio, have them do their makeup, and then pay for the studio session, take good pictures, and then I post. So I've never hired, but irrespective, there's some people who do hire professional models to model their clothes for them. So that's also acceptable. For me, that's why you need to maintain good relationships. For me, I lean on my relationships. So they come on board to help me, and that's how I've been doing it. I haven't, I've not sought out professional help yet to model my clothes. You have some questions as well.
So the gentleman was asking who was my mentor. So Afro-America was originally started by my mom in '93. She came over in '93, and I came over in '95. And so after the war, when we got evacuated, and then I came back in 2000. So I've been here since 2000, and she's been the backbone of the business. You know, being from the West, it's kind of difficult. Some things you don't understand. You know, sometimes it's a culture clash. Sometimes it's just overall. I didn't go to school here. I don't understand certain things. So she helps me to put things together and keep the business afloat. And then I have my my team in the States, the salons that I've worked in the States. So they too, like if I need, there's new techniques, new ideas, just overall business, because business in general just changes over the years. And just imagine over 27 years doing business, multiple businesses, you always have to have someone. I have friends that are accountants, I have lawyers, I have so many people in my tribe that we all just help each other. And then as far as the products, my product's name is Opino Naturals, and that's what we use in the salon. So it's a natural hair care and skin care, all natural ingredients. So we use that in the salons.
So there was a question about how do you dress where that is something about fashion and moral. Yeah. So for me, you wear what you're comfortable in. It's as simple as that. If you want to, we have Muslim women who cover top to toe. That's perfectly fine. We have other women who wouldn't want to cover top to toe. That's also fine. So it is what you are comfortable in wearing. So I don't think I'm in a position to dictate how to dress that would make you appear moral to the public. I'm not in that position. It has to be what you are comfortable in. So if you're comfortable in wearing short skirts and crop top, that's fine. If you're comfortable in covering everything up, then that's fine. So for me, that's it. Fashion it's a form of expression. So they shouldn't tell you how to do it because you're expressing your inner self. So they shouldn't tell you, oh no, it should only be this way, or you should only cover it this way, or you should only put it down this way. It should be how you want to express yourself from inside coming out, how you want people to perceive you. So that's it. And so for me, in terms of fashion, it's the design. That's the most important thing to me. Because that's it tells a story. The design tells a story. You can have a simple, lovely dress like that. That tells a story. You can have when you see her outfit, it clearly tells a story. So it's the design for me. That's the most important part. When you have, so if someone, you can't go into fashion if you don't have the acumen for design, or else what are you doing there? What are you doing there? That means you should be on the production end. Maybe you should be the tailor. So the person who has the idea can give you the idea, and then you just translate that. You handle the mechanical side of things. But for me, the most important part is the design. And in terms of trend, fashion is the one thing that is constantly evolving. The way our parents or our grandparents used to dress, that's not how we do it now. So it's constantly. So I can't predict how it's going to go. For Christmas, you see a lot of ball gowns. You see a lot of lace. Because we have all these weddings that we're attending, reception. So the fashion during those periods, it's different. Now we're starting work. So you see you see a lot of jackets and straight skirts and business suits and skater dresses. So depending on the season, depending on the type of activities that are going on, that is how the fashion trend changes. And if you want to be a model, first of all, if you want to do it, I see no reason why you shouldn't do it. I see absolutely no reason why you shouldn't do it. Now, these days, people have a lot of bipolar profession. So you're there. Obviously, and they're not teaching you to be a model in high school. So you're obviously studying to do something else. But then you have a passion for fashion, for model. So as long as you can make both ends work, because for now, obviously, education has to be priority for now. And then when you're done, you can pursue these other interests that you do have. But as long as you can balance it, then I see no reason why you shouldn't pursue your interest in modeling. I see no reason at all. Because maybe that is where you will find your fulfillment. You will spend ages in high school, university, go on to your master's. At the end of the day, you find out that you're still not fulfilled. So you find yourself in a position, you're old now. So maybe you won't be able to actively go into the modeling industry. So you would have missed your chance. But then that is something that you had always wanted to do and you missed it. So you find the right time when you can invest a bit more into this interest. But I see no reason why you shouldn't do it, as long as you want to do it.
I agree with the trends. But for me, trends are global, and depending on where you are at any point in time, like what would be very trendy here wouldn't be a trend in Dubai. It wouldn't be a trend in Colombia. It wouldn't be a trend in certain parts of the States. I'm from the East Coast. What we do on the East, they will never do on the West Coast. So it depends where you are at any given point in time and what point in your life. When I was younger, my nails used to be like this long, and that was it. I was comfortable with that, but I could never now because that trend has moved on to another generation.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. You know what I mean? So trends are constantly evolving and revolving. When I was in high school, finger waves was everything.
Yeah.
And now it's back.
It's back.
So just imagine.
Yeah.
So things constantly become recycled and they evolve. So trends, they always come back.
Thank you so much. Those questions were really interesting questions that triggered, very deep, heartfelt, but also experience-based answers that we received from our speakers. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you so much, Kumba. We appreciate it so much. And I think what Iye was sharing was something that I witnessed. I was there when she was organizing it, and yes, she was bashed. But what I want us to go home with is not only what the speakers have shared with us, but also we need to know that there will always be naysayers whenever you want to do, and that's their job. It's their job to criticize, but you take those stones and you build your own edifice. And as long as you are comfortable, as long as you can go to bed and sleep, with what you are doing, then that's the right thing to do. And I do think that with maturity, what comes is also the quitting being judgmental, and we all do it. The person who wears a hijab criticizes the one who wears a short skirt, and vice versa. And the ones who wear the hijab is like, oh, in X country they ban hijab, and everybody's fighting against that. The same way that hijabi should not also be banning or judging the person who's also doing what they are comfortable with. At the end of the day, we are in a free world, you know. You do what you feel comfortable with, and yes, we are wholeheartedly with you. And do you, you know, do what you believe in. Another nugget that I took is, you know, the telling your story part of what fashion is doing, and I think that's key to what African people need to do. Telling our own stories. We were told about how our ancestors were sold as slaves. We don't know the reality because we didn't say the story. But now is the time we need to come on board and end the story. How do we want the African story, the African narrative to end? That's what we cannot go backwards, but we can decide what's going to happen in the future, and we need to keep that in mind. I also appreciated the fact that you know, both speakers shared that we have so much to offer as African people. But if we don't believe in it, then it won't materialize. We have so much to offer, but it has to do with believing in it. You know, believing in it, marketing it the right way, and at the same time, you know, finding partnerships with other people who have that much to share, and networking with them to bring about what's gonna move us forward. Another thing that I really think we need to do is what Joe was also talking about, is the governing authorities. You know, we need those enabling environments. Yes, we have great creatives, we have entrepreneurs, they want to move things forward, but we are pleading to our authorities to please, you know, make sure we have those enabling environments, we have policies that will, you know, guide them towards success. Another nugget that I would like to share is, yes, about validation. You know, Africa is the cradle for humanity. We have so much more than meets the eye. But why do we always, especially the young generation, why do we always need the validation of other civilizations? And that's something that I also suffered from as Joe was sharing. We thought we were an empty table, nothing is there. They came and civilized us. We now know that we have a great, rich African civilization. So we need validation from nobody. Our role models are within Africa, the South Africans, the Senegalese, the Nigerians, but not out of Africa. So all that is something we need to bear in mind for our future to be clear compared to what the past was. So I really wanted to share that with you from what we learned today from our speakers. I know you learned much more, but let's revisit what we have learned via the social media, and then, you know, try applying it, because that's where the key is. Not only coming, witnessing, and hearing, but let's start doing. Let's start doing ourselves. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us today, and see you next month for another edition of the Ignition Hour. Thank you.